You wake up, stretch your body, and feel the familiar pull of gravity, the anchor that tells you you're here, in this world, in this life. But what if I told you that right now, another version of you woke up slightly earlier? They went for a walk, chose a different street, and found a note on the pavement that shifted the direction of their day, maybe even their entire life. What if reality, as solid as it feels beneath your feet, isn't rigid at all, but fluid, flexible, and responsive? What if life is less like a straight road and more like an endless ocean, waves constantly forming and dissolving, shaped by the winds of your attention and your choices? The world you see is not the only one that exists. Beyond what your eyes can detect and your hands can grasp, there's a deeper architecture, an unseen field humming with possibility, vibrating with futures not yet lived. This isn't science fiction. It isn't a mystical fantasy. It is what quantum physics calls the quantum field, a vast ocean of potential, where countless versions of your life already exist, waiting for you to tune into them. Think of it like walking into a library so immense that it contains every possible version of your story. The ones you've lived, the ones you didn't, the ones still waiting. You may only open one book at a time, but all the others remain, patient and available. Or picture an old radio dial. Infinite stations are playing all at once, but you only hear the one you're tuned to. That doesn't mean the others don't exist. It just means they're waiting for your frequency to match theirs. And here's the powerful truth. Every thought, every decision, every emotional tone is a frequency, a choice, a selection from the infinite menu of possibility. Smile at a stranger? That one act might ripple across timelines. Pause before speaking. Entirely new outcomes emerge. Even the smallest moments carry the weight of worlds. You are not a passive witness of the universe. You are its co-creator. Your choices are not just actions. They are brushstrokes on the canvas of reality itself. So what if parallel realities are not only theoretical, but practical? Not just out there, but actively unfolding within and around you. If every moment is a doorway, then the question is not whether another reality exists. The real question is, what world will you choose to step into today? You cannot see the roots of a tree as you walk through a forest, but they're there, spreading underground, feeding the trunk, connecting with other trees in ways invisible to the eye. Reality works in the same way. What appears solid, separate, and fixed is only the surface. Beneath it lies a vast, interconnected matrix, the quantum field, a silent network that holds every possibility of form, path, and outcome. And this field isn't something outside of you. It is part of you. It's the vibration between atoms, the stillness before a thought forms, the intelligence behind what we often call coincidence. And even if you don't see it directly, you've felt it. In the pause before an unexpected idea, in the way your intuition nudges you just before the phone rings, in the uncanny feeling that two people can share the same moment but live entirely different realities. Because they do. Each person draws from this field a unique version of experience, not randomly, but through alignment. What you perceive is not neutral. Your perception collapses infinite potential into a single thread. Your focus defines what becomes real for you. The psychologist William James once said, "There is no such thing as one world. There are as many worlds as there are observers." And perhaps he was right. Think of a concert. Thousands of people share the same space, the same music, but each one feels something different. For one, the melody stirs joy. For another, sadness. For someone else, nostalgia. One song, countless inner worlds. This is not just metaphor. It is how the quantum field operates. What you experience is not reality itself. It is your version of reality, selected from a sea of endless possibilities. And here's the important part. The field doesn't only hold your current experience. It holds every version of your life. The you who spoke up instead of staying silent. The you who left earlier and met someone new. The you who chose courage instead of fear. They all exist as possibilities woven into the same fabric. This isn't fantasy, it's information. And information does not disappear. It remains, stored like colors in a prism, waiting for the light of your awareness to refract it into form. You may wonder, but I'm just one person. How much influence can I really have? The truth is, even the smallest focus carries impact. A single thought, a single breath of attention, can redirect the version of reality you step into. You are not only observing the field, you are participating in it, shaping it, speaking to it with every choice you make. And once you begin to sense this invisible structure, this web beneath appearances, you live differently. You walk more carefully, knowing your energy ripples outward. You speak more intentionally, realizing your words are signals. You stop asking, "What is real?" and instead ask, "What reality am I co-creating right now?" And that simple shift, from passive witness to conscious participant, is the quiet revolution. So if the field already contains your past, your present, and your future, then in some way, you've already lived countless versions of your life. The only real question is, which version will you step into next? Have you ever wondered if every what if you've thought about, every choice you didn't make, actually happened somewhere else? In quantum physics, there is a bold idea that says exactly this. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett introduced the many worlds interpretation. It suggests that reality doesn't move forward in a single straight line, but branches endlessly. Each decision doesn't close a door, it opens all of them. Picture reality as a great tree. Each moment is a branching point. You take the job, one branch. You don't, another. You stay in the relationship. You leave. You speak up. You stay quiet. With every choice, the tree grows new branches, endlessly expanding. And yet, no matter how different these branches look, they all share the same root, the quantum field. This means every possible reality exists at once. Not far away, but within the same underlying field of potential that surrounds you now. In one version of your life, you moved to another city and built something new. In another, you stayed close to home and discovered meaning in unexpected ways. Both are real, just vibrating on different frequencies of the same field. And sometimes you feel them. A flash of déjà vu, nostalgia for a place you've never been, a dream that doesn't quite match your current story. These aren't random. They may be glimpses of alternate versions of you, brushing close enough for your awareness to sense them. Science, which for so long insisted on certainty, now circles back to wonder, back to the language of poets and mystics who spoke of hidden dimensions and unseen realities. The many worlds theory is not cold mechanics. It's a reminder that existence is far richer than one storyline. But here's the paradox. Even if all realities exist, you only live one at a time. You are the selector, the tuner. Your focus, your choices, decide which version becomes real for you. Think of it like music. Every note exists, but the musician chooses which ones to play. Without the musician, there is no song. And without your awareness, there is no lived reality. So what role does choice play if every option is already available? The role of shaping experience. Your choices are how you participate in creation. They don't erase other possibilities, but they make one version real for you. This idea carries a powerful lesson. If all worlds exist, then the version you live is not about luck, but about alignment. The branch you walk is shaped by your focus, your beliefs, and your willingness to step forward. And there's something humbling here too. If others are living their own branches, it reminds us not to judge too quickly. Someone else may be experiencing a path you nearly chose. Their lessons may carry insights for you. So the question becomes, if infinite realities exist, why are you living this one? What does this version of your life reveal about who you are and who you're becoming? There's a moment before you act, before you speak, before you move, before you decide, where everything is open. In that pause, the universe is holding its breath. infinite outcomes are possible. Most of us rush past that space. We treat decisions like small tasks, forgetting that each choice is more than a preference. Each choice is a collapse, a quantum collapse. In physics, this is called the observer effect. Particles exist in a cloud of probabilities until observed. It is the act of observation that gives them form. Likewise, your decisions collapse the field of possibilities into lived reality. Think of rolling dice. While they spin, every number exists as a possibility. The moment they land, only one outcome is realized. That's what choice does. It lands you in one version of reality, while countless others continue, unseen, in the background. This isn't just theory. You can feel it in everyday life. Take falling in love. There's a point where you wonder, do I open myself or stay guarded? Do I say yes or hold back? At that moment, both futures exist, the one where you leap and the one where you stay closed. But once you choose, you collapse the wave. You commit to one lived storyline, and yet traces of the other path often linger. The déjà vu of a road never walked, the strange nostalgia for a version of you that could have been. That's the paradox of choice. All futures exist, but only one can be embodied at a time. So what about fate? If everything already exists, does free will mean anything? Let me tell you a story. A young man once missed his train. It was raining. Frustrated, he kicked at puddles while waiting for the next one. An older man sat beside him, offered him half a sandwich, and they struck up a conversation. That man turned out to be a retired publisher. They stayed in touch, and a year later, the young man's first book was published, a book that changed the course of his life. Here's the key. He almost caught the train. He was seconds away. But he paused just long enough at a crossing, and the doors closed. That single moment of delay collapsed one possibility and opened another entirely. A fraction of a second, a new timeline. Your choices, delays, and even hesitations are not small. They are portals. Each choice doesn't only express preference, it declares identity. This is who I am becoming. In a universe where all versions of you already exist, your choices are how you align with one of them. Every decision is a vote. Every action is a signature. Every focus is a step into a dimension. So next time you face a decision, big or small, remember, you are not just choosing a path, you are choosing a reality. And the most important question you can ask yourself is, with this choice, who am I becoming? Your emotions are not just reactions to what happens in your life. They are signals, frequencies that tune you into particular versions of reality. Think of the quantum field as a spectrum of radio stations. All of them are broadcasting right now. Joy, gratitude, fear, anger, peace, they all exist simultaneously. But the station you hear is the one you are tuned to. And that tuning happens through emotion. When you feel joy, it's like setting the dial to a frequency where synchronicity, connection, and flow are more likely to appear. When you feel shame or self-doubt, you're tuning into a station that reflects those feelings back at you through your experiences. The world seems heavier, slower, more resistant. This is why emotions are so powerful. They don't just describe your state of mind. They influence the field you interact with. You are both receiver and broadcaster. Think about gratitude. When you genuinely feel it, not forced, but deeply, life seems to respond. The right words come at the right time. A stranger smiles. A friend calls just when you are thinking of them. These aren't accidents. They're resonance. The field is echoing back the frequency you're sending. This doesn't mean you should avoid negative emotions. All emotions carry information. Anger can show you where your boundaries are. Sadness can point to what you value. But what you repeatedly dwell in becomes your vibrational address. That address tells the field where to deliver your experiences. Let's bring this down to everyday life. Imagine you wake up already tense, holding anxiety like a cup of coffee. You rush through messages, brace for problems, and carry an inner voice of fear. That day, what do you notice? Delays, resistance, people who mirror your stress. Now imagine the same morning. You pause, you place a hand on your chest and remember a simple moment of beauty. A smile from a loved one, the sound of birds, the feeling of sunlight. As you breathe into that memory, your emotional tone changes, and the day unfolds differently. Not with dramatic miracles, but with small alignments, a conversation that flows, an opportunity that opens, a sense of ease. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. The field is responding to your state. Even Carl Jung, long before quantum physics became popular, spoke of the collective unconscious, a shared field of images, emotions, and stories that influence us all. Modern science now suggests that emotions are not just private experiences, but signals with real effects. Here's a story. A woman walks into a meeting feeling insecure. Outwardly, she looks prepared. But inside, she feels small. The room reflects it back. People overlook her ideas. Conversations move past her. A week later, she enters the same room with the same preparation. But she has spent the morning grounding herself, remembering her value, and breathing through her doubts. This time, the room responds differently. People pay attention, not because her facts changed, but because her energy did. Your emotions shape the quality of the field you carry with you. They shift the version of reality you experience. So here's the practice. Don't wait for external conditions to change before you feel different. Lead with the feeling. If you want freedom, embody it now in small ways. If you want peace, invite it now with a breath. If you want abundance, notice where you already have enough. The world does not reflect what you want. It reflects what you are being, and being is vibrational. So the next time you feel restless, anxious, or overwhelmed, pause, breathe, choose one emotion, joy, gratitude, trust, and let it grow, even slightly. That shift is not small. It's a signal across realities, aligning you with a version of yourself already living that state. Your emotions are not just feedback. They are guidance. They are coordinates in the map of the field. The question is, which frequency will you live from today? When you hear the word abundance, your mind might go straight to money, possessions, or success. But true abundance is much broader. Abundance is alignment, the state of living in harmony with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. The quantum field doesn't withhold anything from you. Within it, every possibility already exists: wealth, creativity, purpose, love, clarity, peace. These outcomes aren't waiting in the future. They exist now as potential realities, vibrating just beyond your current focus. Imagine walking through a field filled with seeds. Every seed is a possibility, a relationship, a breakthrough, a new path. All of them are already there. But only the ones you water will grow. The same is true of your attention. What you focus on is what takes root. And it's not just about what you want. It's about what you truly believe. You can want abundance, but focus daily on fear. You can dream of freedom, but feed thoughts of limitation. The field doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your frequency. Consider this story. A man is offered 2 jobs. One pays more but feels heavy. The other pays less but excites him. Logic pushes him toward the higher salary. But something in him knows better. He chooses the lighter path. Months later, that choice leads to opportunities, collaborations, and financial growth far beyond what he expected. The key wasn't luck, it was alignment. He tuned into a version of himself that was expansive rather than constricted, and the field reflected it. Abundance is not about deserving, it's about matching. The version of you who thrives is not far away, it already exists. But to step into that version, you have to embody its state first. How does that version of you think, speak, and act? How do they walk into a room? How do they make decisions? When you begin to feel and act as if you are already them, you shift your frequency, and the field responds. And abundance is not only material, it is the sense of enoughness. The presence that says, I have time, I have meaning, I am enough from that inner fullness, external abundance becomes easier to attract because you are no longer chasing from a place of lack. There's also a collective aspect here. When you choose alignment with abundance, you don't take from others. You expand the field for everyone. Each time you say, "Yes, I am worthy," you ripple that message outward. Consciousness is connected. Your rise gives others permission to rise. So, ask yourself honestly, what seeds are you watering right now? Are you feeding worry, comparison, or doubt? Or are you investing in courage, gratitude, and vision? The field doesn't judge, it simply mirrors. Every moment is a reflection of the version of you you're aligning with. So abundance is not about waiting for proof, it's about choosing alignment first. Because when you change your frequency, you discover that abundance wasn't something to chase. It was always the field you were standing in. What would it mean to live every day knowing, not just believing, but knowing that each moment is shaping your reality? That's what it means to live with field awareness. It doesn't mean trying to control every detail of your future. It means walking through life with the understanding that the field is alive and responsive, and that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are constantly interacting with it. When you sense the quantum field not as an abstract theory, but as a living fabric that surrounds and includes you, something shifts. A humility arrives. You begin to treat ordinary moments with more reverence because you realize they are not small. Every glance, every word, every decision is part of how you participate in creation. Most of the pivotal shifts in your life won't feel dramatic when they happen. They will feel quiet, even ordinary. Choosing to pause before reacting, offering kindness to a stranger, saying yes to a small inner nudge. These moments seem minor, but they change the direction of timelines. Think of a father who, though tired after work, chooses to sit on the floor and play with his child for 10 minutes. That choice may seem small, but it shapes the child's sense of love and connection, and it deepens the father's own presence. Neither may remember the details years later, but both will live the impact. That is field awareness in action. To live this way is to move through life with a sense that reality is layered. The ground you walk on feels solid, but beneath it is a web of infinite paths. You don't need to see them. You only need to remember they're there. This awareness changes how you treat yourself. You become more intentional with your thoughts because you know they ripple. You speak to yourself with more kindness because you understand that inner dialogue is also a frequency. You slow down before reacting because you know every response is a thread you are strengthening. And with this shift, life becomes more participatory. You start noticing synchronicities, the right book appearing at the right time, a delay leading you to the exact conversation you needed, a setback revealing a hidden opportunity. These aren't coincidences. They are signs that the field is reflecting your state of being. So how can you cultivate field awareness in simple ways? By pausing more often, by letting silence guide you before rushing into reaction, by visualizing not what you want, but who you are becoming, by paying attention to the small alignments. They are the breadcrumbs of your future self. And by speaking your truth, even when it feels uncomfortable, because authenticity is one of the strongest signals you can send into the field. Living this way is not about being perfect. It's about being present. The field doesn't demand perfection. It responds to sincerity. So walk as though your steps ripple outward. Look at the sky and remember you are part of the same fabric. Say thank you, even to the unseen. Because when you live with this awareness, the world does not just change. You step into a version of the world that was always waiting for you to notice it. So ask yourself, if everything is connected, how do I want to live today? Parallel realities are far from fantasy. They are the natural design of a universe more intelligent and generous than we ever imagined. A universe that doesn't restrict us, but responds to us. You are not a fixed character trapped in one plot. You are the architect of timelines, a river that chooses its own course. And every thought, every feeling, every action is part of how you paint your reality onto the canvas of possibility. Your life is not a straight line. It is a field of choices, of frequencies, of infinite doors. You don't need to see the whole picture. You only need to take the next step with awareness. Because in that step, you collapse a world into form. You declare, "This is the version of me I choose to live." Not later. Not when conditions are perfect. But now. The quantum field isn't waiting. It is already listening. And here's something to remember. You are not choosing only for yourself. Your choices ripple outward, touching family, friends, even strangers you may never meet. When you shift into a version of yourself that is more loving, more courageous, or more grateful, the field expands for everyone. The invisible fabric of life becomes a little stronger, a little brighter because of you. This is the quiet power of awareness. To realize that your inner state is not just personal, it is participatory. Each act of presence contributes to the collective field. Each moment of gratitude strengthens a timeline where humanity moves with more compassion. So the question is not just, what reality will you step into today? It is also, what reality will you help co-create for us all? Share your answer below, not just as a comment but as a declaration.